The ships came from the north, their sails like the wings of giant birds. They were filled with fierce warriors, their faces hardened by the icy winds of their homeland. These were the Norsemen, Vikings from a distant land. They craved riches and conquest. The Norsemen landed on the shores of Nekor, a prosperous kingdom in the heart of Africa. The people of Nekor were caught unaware. They had heard whispers of pale men from across the sea, but they never imagined such brutality. The Vikings, armed with axes and swords, attacked with terrifying ferocity. Villages were razed and fields burned. The king of Nekor fought bravely, but was overwhelmed and slain. Despair gripped the land. Word of the invasion spread like wildfire across the savannah. It reached the ears of a young man named Silwain. He was a skilled hunter and tracker, raised in the shadow of Mount Kilimanjaro. Silwain felt a deep connection to the land and its creatures. He had always felt different, touched by a power he couldn't explain. As a child, Silwain had ventured deep into the heart of the wilderness. Here he encountered the spirits of the Big Five: the lion, the elephant, the rhinoceros, the leopard, and the buffalo. Each animal imbued him with a portion of their strength, wisdom, and courage. They saw in him the potential for greatness, the heart of a true leader. With fire in his heart, Silwain knew he had to act. He journeyed from village to village, rallying the demoralized people. He spoke of the strength within them, the spirit of their ancestors. Silwain, imbued with the lion's courage, became a beacon of hope. He urged the people to unite against the invaders. He shared the gifts bestowed upon him by the Big Five, inspiring awe and belief in his destiny. Silwain's words resonated with the people. They had heard whispers of his encounters with the animal spirits. They saw the fire in his eyes, the unwavering determination. He was no ordinary man. He was chosen. Silwain, guided by the wisdom of the elephant, understood that brute force alone would not defeat the Vikings. He needed strategy, cunning, and the element of surprise. He studied the Vikings' movements, learning their strengths and weaknesses. He observed their reliance on brute force, their lack of agility in the African terrain. Silwain devised a plan to lure the Vikings deeper into the savannah. He would use the land itself as a weapon. He would turn their arrogance against them. The elders, initially skeptical, were swayed by Silwain's quiet confidence and the wisdom he presented. Section 5. The Charge of the Rhino. The Vikings, emboldened by their initial victories, fell for Silwain's trap. They marched deeper into the savannah, seeking to crush any remaining resistance. What they didn't realize was that they were walking into a carefully orchestrated ambush. As the Vikings entered a narrow pass, Silwain and his warriors struck. With the fury of a charging rhino, Silwain led the attack. The earth trembled under the weight of their charge. The Vikings, caught off guard, were no match for the ferocity of Silwain's forces. Section 6. The Leopard's Stealth. The initial victory was just the beginning. Silwain knew that the Vikings would regroup and retaliate. He had to strike at their heart, their stronghold in Nekor. Under the cover of darkness, Silwain, imbued with the leopard's stealth, led a small group of warriors on a daring raid. They slipped through the Viking defenses, their movements silent and deadly. They set fire to the Viking ships, crippling their ability to escape or call for reinforcements. The raid was a resounding success, a testament to Silwain's cunning and the leopard's gift of stealth. Section 7. The Buffalo's Strength. The Vikings, demoralized and leaderless, found themselves on the defensive. Their ships were destroyed, their supplies dwindling. They made a desperate stand against Silwain's forces, but the tide had turned. Silwain fought with the strength of the buffalo, unwavering and unstoppable. He inspired his warriors to fight with the courage of lions and the cunning of leopards. The Vikings, overwhelmed and broken, were finally defeated. Those who survived were driven back to the sea, vowing never to return. Section 8. A King's Burden. With the Vikings vanquished, Silwain turned his attention to rebuilding Nekor. He was a warrior king, but he understood that true strength lay in unity and peace. He ordered the reconstruction of villages, he established trade routes and fostered cultural exchange with neighbouring kingdoms. Cilwyn, despite his victories, was not without his struggles. The weight of leadership, the responsibility for his people, weighed heavily on him. He was haunted by the bloodshed, the lives lost during the war. He grappled with the duality of his nature, the warrior king and the man seeking peace. Section 9. One People, One Destiny. Cilwyn knew that the Vikings were just one threat among many. He understood that a divided Africa with its many tribes and kingdoms would always be vulnerable. He embarked on a quest for unity, travelling across the land, meeting with tribal leaders, sharing his vision of a united Africa. He spoke of a shared heritage, a common destiny that transcended tribal boundaries. His words resonated. Leaders inspired by his courage, wisdom and vision set aside their differences. They saw the wisdom in unity, the strength in collective defense. Section 10. The Legacy of Cilwyn. Cilwyn ruled wisely and justly for many years. He oversaw a golden age of peace and prosperity. The arts flourished and trade routes brought wealth and knowledge from distant lands. Most importantly, the memory of the Viking invasion served as a constant reminder of the importance of unity. Cilwyn's story became legend. It was passed down through generations, a tale whispered around campfires, a testament to the power of courage, unity and the spirit of Africa. He was remembered not just as a warrior king, but as a unifier, a visionary who saw beyond tribal divisions and forged a legacy of strength and unity that would forever inspire generations to come.